just talked about being back in Seattle. Last time you were here, you had a pretty good experience, a couple of good games. Just how happy to be back here in Seattle?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a place that brings back a lot of memories for myself. I think going back to our junior year when I played here, obviously it was kind of when I felt like all the momentum in women's basketball really changed. And had some big wins here. This is where we advanced to the Final Four. So, but more than anything, like the support. Like we didn't know coming from Iowa, coming out to Seattle, like what the crowds would be like when we first came here. But the women's basketball fans in the city were just incredible. The arena was packed. I think it was sold out. So it's fun to come back here and play in this arena again for sure.
Sue Bird a couple of days ago said that she thinks you've faced more pressure than any WNBA rookie ever. I was wondering, A, if you can speak to that pressure at all, and B, if you've had any conversations with Sue at all, what those have been like.
Yeah, I think there's definitely pressure, but I mean, I don't think it's any different than the stuff I faced in college and then coming in here. Like, obviously, I know there's going to be pressure, and we're the youngest team, most inexperienced team in the league. So I think just giving ourselves grace, and like I feel like our improvement from game 1 to game 4 has been immense. Just in that short period, I think this is like our 24th day together. We played 4 games against maybe 2 of the 3 best teams in the league. So I think you have to kind of keep it all in perspective. And yeah, I mean, our goal every single night we come into these games, we come in expecting to win. So, you have that pressure, you have the pressure of performing, you have the pressure of everybody in the outside world watching you. But I think it's something you embrace, and, maybe it's a little different and new for the other girls in this organization or the coaches in this organization. But I think everybody's done a really good job of just accepting that's what it is. And, I think Sue has been somebody that's been very supportive of me over the course of my college career. Like I remember when she was here last time I played in Climate Pledge, cheering for us, came to shoot around before. So, I saw her when she was at the Liberty game when we played in New York a couple games ago. And, she's just always been somebody that's been supportive and really just wants the best for me. So I really appreciate it.
How do you think your game has translated from college to WNBA so far? Just the way that, you had a coach, the leader to Indian Theater here.
Yeah, I think it's translated well. I mean, nobody said I was going to come in here and average 30, 10, and 10. Like, I think that's probably a little bit of an unrealistic expectation. And maybe at some point in my career, I'll get to that. But I think to come in here and distribute the ball, I think I can do a little bit better job of, finding my teammates and taking care of the ball a little bit better. But some of that's going to come with just the chemistry as we develop that over the course of the season. As a team, taking care of the ball better is a better focus. But, I think shooting wise, I think I've taken good shots. I think at times I can probably be a little bit more aggressive and play downhill a little bit more. It's a little different when you have so much talent on your team. I think that's still something that I'm getting used to, and finding those people when they're open and spots that they can be successful as a point guard. And I don't know, I think it's definitely been an adjustment, but I feel like, since the first 2 games, I think I've done a better job of just like going out there and playing and being myself. And I think that, we'll continue to evolve as we get going here.
This is Storm Country, but I mean, 18,000 fans here tonight. A lot of them coming to see you. It's like a world tour you're on.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I guess I would be disappointed if it wasn't like this in a way. Not disappointed, but I feel like it's also just something like you kind of expect and welcome at this point. It's a lot of fun for me, like getting to play in front of these environments, whether they're cheering for you, whether they're cheering against you. I think as a competitor, that can bring out the best in you. We went to New York, played at Barclays, and I thought that environment was absolutely incredible. And I expect something very similar here tonight. But I think it's just great for women's basketball. It's great for this franchise. Obviously, the Storm have done incredible things with the talent they've had, and the talent they've added this year. Obviously, speaks for itself. So I'm definitely excited, but I think our team is definitely enjoying playing in front of these large crowds too. Our last game at home, our crowd was absolutely incredible and really into the game. So the more we can continue to feed off of crowds, especially our home crowds, I think is going to help us in the long run.
But even Matt Pittman with KCBS Radio all the way down in San Francisco. So Bay Area just, got an expansion team, and they'll play next summer. Last week unveiled their colors and brand identity to go 10,000 plus process for season tickets. The excitement's high, kind of riding this wave that certainly with the W. Just seeing that the league is now kind of capitalizing on that and expanding to major markets like San Francisco Bay Area, to Toronto. How significant is that to the story of what the WNBA is experiencing right now?
Yeah, I think it's obviously super important right now. I think just the steps that this league has taken even over the course of the last year, obviously announcing that expansion team, announcing the Toronto expansion team, the charter flights. I think the CBA, we can opt out of the CBA after this year, if I'm not mistaken. I think just all those things, like you're really going to see this league continue to evolve over the course of the next couple of years and probably really change and become even better in a lot of different ways. And I think that's really good. I've been somebody that's supported this league ever since I was a young girl. Now being a part of it, it's something special and I want to continue to help it continue to grow forward. But, I think playing women's college basketball and then coming to the pros, how much talent there is out there. And then obviously coming here, there's less than 144 spots in this league. So I think expansion is, only going to help increase the awareness of our game, obviously get into more markets. That's absolutely incredible. 10,000 season ticket deposits. Like, I don't think people realize how, insane that is. I don't know if any team across the league has that many season ticket deposits. So, I'm just happy and, hopefully it continues to expand, past just even those two teams. I think there's even more room to grow, in that regard.
It's a place like the Bay Area with its history of, icons coming from the college basketball world and what Stanford, what Coach Vanderveer has been there. Anything come to mind about the idea of professional basketball finally having a place in the Bay where a team like Stanford has been so good for so long? Cal's on the rise with Sherman Smith and Seth has always done tremendous things. It's a great legacy.
Yeah, I think it's a great place for a women's basketball franchise. Obviously, what Tara was able to do at Stanford and just the excitement around women's basketball in that area, I think is absolutely incredible. And then obviously, the Chase Center and what the Warriors were able to do, like, it's just a great place to put women's basketball. I think it's going to be well supported. Obviously, you see that with the season ticket deposits, but just the people in the community that, are excited about it even before we ever had a WNBA franchise going there. Like, they loved women's basketball before they got a franchise. So I couldn't really think of a better place to put a team. And, I think their team colors are also pretty cool. So people,
My questions for you. Put you on the spot.
yeah, not too bad. Not as good as the Fever, but it's up there. It's up there.
Did you have a relationship with Tara at all, especially going back to coming out of high school and your recruiting process?
I never really talked to her a ton during my recruiting process, because I narrowed it down pretty quickly that I wanted to be close to home. But obviously I knew Coach Tara, like, and what she was, doing at Stanford, and her and Coach Bluter are really good friends. So that's how I kind of got to know her. And then I got to know her through Cam too, because me and Cam are pretty good friends, and spent some time with her at the Wooden Award my junior year with Cam. And she's just such a down-to-earth, great human being that just really wanted the best for women's basketball. She was one of those pioneers and trailblazers that, really helped grow our game forward. And, it's sad that she's not going to be in the game anymore, but I think her impact and her legacy is going to be something that you see for a really long time. And, I remember her talking to me about, like, she's a huge water skier or something like that. So I'm sure she'll be doing a lot of that now that she's not coaching, and as she should. She definitely deserves it.
Valkyrie Violet. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I give it a thumbs up for sure.
Just what's been the collective involvement as a team stage we have forward?
Yeah, I think it's the way you stay together is knowing, we are the most inexperienced team in the league, but we also have a lot of talent. We've only been together for 22 days. We have one of the toughest schedules to start the year where, game, practice, that's what it is. But I think it's not anything anybody shies away from. But I also think going back and watching the film and finding a lot of positives from our performances, especially the last two performances, I thought, we competed really hard. I think especially at Connecticut, like, we had many chances where we were up 4 with, I think, 5 minutes to play, where we could have extended the game, and kind of, maybe got it to 6, maybe got it to 8. So I think there's just little things where we're, like, right there. And you have to remember, Connecticut and New York are two of the best teams in this league. So I think keeping that all in perspective, and knowing now we got to go on this road trip of 3 games versus really good teams, but it's also another opportunity for us to find a win and string some confidence along. But I don't think anybody has lost that positive spirit or competitive energy or, expectation of winning. Like, we come into these games and we expect to win. We think we're going to win, and you just got to lay it all out there. And, hopefully that's the result you get.
Consistency of playing.
Yeah, I think, that's like the best way to learn. And, especially our first 2 games where I didn't feel like we had the best overall performance as a team. Like, you know, you didn't have to sit and sulk about it for a while. Like we got to get back out there on the court and really like prove to ourselves more than anything, like that's not the team that we are going to be, or we are. Like we had to come back out here and continue to compete every single night and, you know, show people what we're really made of, but also learn and grow, and continue to improve really.
Two more.
Just talking about growth in the NBA. I'm from Brazil. I write for a Brazilian outlet. Are you aware of your reach internationally? In Brazil, especially, you have so many fans. So, are you aware of that global reach? And my second question is, how do you deal with the pressure, the expectation? Like, how have you been taking care of yourself as a person in this process?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely hard to like put into perspective the reach and the impact that you have, you know, not only across the country, but really across the world. And, you know, that's obviously something I hope and want to do, especially because we want to make women's basketball even more global than it already is and continue to impact people and young girls and young boys and show them, you know, what basketball can do for their lives. So it's definitely hard to like put into perspective, and it's cool for me to have people that come up to me, not only from, you know, all around the country, but, you know, all around the world that say they're fans and love women's basketball and love the teams that I've been a part of. So that's definitely been really cool for myself. And I think the pressure thing is like, you know, more than anything, I have to give myself a lot of grace. Like, obviously I want to be perfect more than, you know, anybody else wants me to be perfect. You know, I'm probably the hardest critic of myself. So, you know, I expect a lot of myself. The coaches expect a lot of me. You know, I want to be great for my teammates more than anything. And I guess at the end of the day, like the only thing that really matters to me is the opinion I have of myself, the opinions that my teammates and my coaches have of me. And that's what's going to help this team be the best they can be.
That's one.
2000.
Mhm.
Set an attendance record here, kind of pledge.
Mhm.
What would that mean for you playing in and just the expectation of fans you have here in Seattle?
Yeah, I think it's something that's super cool, like to be able to be a part of a record, like especially one that is helping grow women's basketball, but really women's sports in general. And it's fun coming back here because I know how great this community is at supporting women's basketball and has been, especially, I mean, they had some of the best teams the WNBA has ever seen in the history of the league. So to be able to part of, you know, a record-breaking crowd in this type of environment, I think is going to be super special, and hopefully we can soak it in, and you know, hopefully there's a few fans cheering for us, I guess. And-
Road trip and what you think you can get out of it.
Yeah, I think the most important thing about this game, it's the next one, which means it's the most important one on our schedule. You know, we've gotten you know, with the two that we just played, the, you know, 4 games, tough teams. I think we've learned a lot from those games. I think we've gotten better. So just to have the opportunity to come and show what we've gotten out of those games the last week.
Just what's the latest on the meetings and how's the work? How is she working there in Indiana through her injury?
Yeah, you know, Dee Dee is doing what she can right now to get back healthy. You know, she's got her contract is suspended, and we're going to reevaluate that in the coming weeks. But I know she's doing everything that she can to get back ready.
Nika Mule is playing today for the first time after her visa issues, and she was kind of the defender, Caitlin, in the Final Four. Just have you prepared for that, or just what do you think Nika could bring?
Yeah, I think every night they're going to put a really, really good defender on Caitlin, and, you know, work to put a really good one on Kelsey. Those are two that are a great combo to be out there together. Exciting. I know, you know, that was an awesome matchup in the college games, but you know, excited that she's back for them and able to play, and we'll see if we'll see that matchup again.
Anybody on Zoom? Tony? DJ? Anybody got one? DJ, want to start?
Oh, I was good. Can I jump in?
Yep, go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, Chrissy, it's only been, well, yeah, a couple games, but Kelsey being back in with that starting group, has that group meshed how you hoped it would, and what do you want to see that continue to evolve into?
Yeah, it's been, you know, there's glimpses of some spectacular things with their speed. And the more we can play those two, the more they can work, the more they can practice. It's just going to be really exciting for what we're able to do with their ability to get downhill, put shooters around them. It's just, you know, an exciting time for us in our future with those guys.
Were the guard actions with Kelsey and Caitlin obvious to you right away as something that needed to be installed? How did that kind of come to fruition for you?
Yeah, I mean, we studied Golden State, that's, what Steph and Clay do. They have a lot of options, but it's chemistry and timing and them two playing together and making reads off each other. So the more that these guys can do that together, we hope to have some of those same looks.
DJ and Lucas.
Coach, what are some things from your team you want to see during clutch time?
Stops. We've got to get stops and we've got to take care of the basketball. That's what those two, in our game against Connecticut the other night, we, turned the ball over. We've got to stay disciplined. We've got to stay disciplined. That's another one. But got to get those stops. That's the important thing, make people work to take a tough contested shot and then block out and get that rebound.
Lucas, last one.
Hey, Christie. I feel as though the team has had some steady progression over the first 4 games. What did you see was key in that progression through the first 4 games?
I think it was a combination of several things. I think one, they finally relaxed and did what we've asked them to do, which is just compete as hard as they can, be the hardest working team out there. Not only do you have to compete at a high level, but you have to be able to think the game. I think we were able to slow the game down in our minds a little bit, think it a little bit more, make smarter decisions. And then just, defensively, we've got to be more disciplined. I mean, we're giving up some dribble penetrations. It's getting our post players in some foul trouble. But we've got to make sure we stay disciplined on the defensive end of the floor.
Great, thank you. And how do you feel as though Wally has gone as a backup playmaker relaxing into that role and thinking the game a bit more?
Yeah, Christy Wallace is the ultimate professional. She just asked, "What do I do, coach?" And she's going to do exactly what we need her to do. She's a great defender. She's also another good complement, out there on the perimeter with Caitlin and with Kelsey. She can bring the ball up. She can execute on offense. So she just brings a lot to the table with the tools that she has.